everybody, welcome back to the channel, Schofield Welding. Jake is out on the road today, so you guys are lucky enough to get me as your host for the week, I guess, or next week, who knows. Filler episodes, lucky you. Just so you guys know, my kids are here, so you might hear them in the background, so sorry about that. But yes, that's the authenticity of Jake being on the road. So I went back through and looked through some of the comments and talked to a few of my friends about what they would like to hear, and others what they left on the comments. So we're going to talk about a few of those things today. So it's kind of be a random jump all over the thing, but we're going to share real life with you and just share a few other little things that I've thought about since that video has happened. I want to talk about, there was a comment on the video and it was saying that they don't want to be with their wives 24/7. And I get that. I do understand that. But for me and Jake, we like being with each other. We enjoy being with each other. We'll enjoy being as a family. And so I get that being with somebody like 24/7 is not your thing, but that's why you can choose to go on the road, or go out on town on the job, or whatever that looks like for you. But for us, we love traveling. We love being on the road as a family. And if we ever get the chance, we go as a family, or we and the kids go out, or Jake comes home, because we love being together. I don't know how else to say that. So I get it if it's not for you, but for a mass majority, it is for them. Obviously, that's why you're married. So I did want to address that. Another thing that I did want to address from the last video is about loyalty. And I do understand that, we did talk about that a lot. But loyalty and trust is a two-way street. Also, I do want to address that someone who has a regular 9-to-5 job has the ability to be unloyal and untrustworthy just as much as somebody that is on the road. So being on the road or having a job at home, it doesn't make a difference. No matter what your situation is, or whatever your relationship status, or whatever that looks like for you guys, trust and loyalty is something that you have to have together to make it work. Let's just be honest. So whatever that situation looks like for you guys, just always work towards loyalty and trust. When I was talking about being sad on the road, I do not have depression. I've never had depression. I don't want to speak for those who do or don't. But it was something that I went through, and it was hard for me to work through it because I never worked through it before. So I'm not saying I did, but for me, and as a person who doesn't, those are things that worked for me to go through and make myself feel good about myself, work through the situation in itself. It was just one of those things, like when I was pregnant and when I was earlier, before we got pregnant, I assumed that having a baby, it would look differently. You would have a house, we would be, set, or whatever that looked like. But I would not change my situation for anything at all. I loved it, and I'm so glad that it worked out the way it did, because I loved having Balin in the trailer, and I've loved having Swayze in the trailer, and we love going and being in the trailer. So it's not hard. And so I'm glad that the situation worked out like the way it did. And so I'm not in any way upset in that situation. Our trailer was a rear living trailer. So we had a living room in the back, and it had the sofa on the side with the dining table. And so we chose to make one of the sides a complete nursery. And that made me feel better about the situation. It made it feel like Balin was having his own space as a baby. And it also made me feel like I was getting prepared, or more prepared for the situation at hand. I was not as tough as I was now as I was in the past. There's a lot of things I had to work through, like anxiousness and feeling a lot of different emotions, like I've talked about. And so what I've learned is that communicating with Jake is key, because I didn't communicate. I held everything in. I kept everything to myself, and it made me kind of a grumpy, angry person, and it was hard. It was really hard. And so now I'm like, even the other day when Jacob was gone, I was like, I am really having a hard time, because getting used to being back on the road is really hard for me, and I'm sorry that I'm being kind of snappy and getting after you. I apologize. And so being able to be that bigger person to let him know that I am working through this. It's hard for me. Sorry. And he understands. He gets where I'm coming from. So it's not something. And so we've learned throughout that it's great to talk through things and not keep it all bottled up, because I'm a really good bottled person. So I have started to really work through and share, and it's also something new. This is, in the last 2 years that we've really worked through this, and so this is something new, and it wasn't something that came to me while we were on the road or whatever that looked like. This is something new that I'm still learning and I'm still trying to work for. I know everybody's situation is not the same, and so if you're feeling anxious and you can't talk to your spouse about it, and you don't have a friend to talk to about it, or you just have to have somebody to talk to. So if whatever that looks like, you should be able to find, reach out, see if you can talk to a counselor, or, there's so many options you can go about finding someone to talk to. So don't ever put yourself in a situation where you can't work through that anxiousness, the depression, the anxiety. You have to work through it. So you have to take those steps into finding that third person, spouse, friend, counselor, whatever that looks like for you. You have to find that third person to be able to talk to, so that you can be a happier person, and because you don't want to be in that situation and be unhappy. Another thing that I had to work through was loneliness, being on the road. But Jake was working a lot, and I didn't have any of my friends that I had from college or from school, and so I had to go make new friends, or I had to go find something to do. So I've worked while we lived in a trailer. I have gone to school while we lived in a trailer. I've been a stay-at-home mom while we lived in a trailer. But some of you may not know that I was actually Jake's welder's helper for a while. So let me just throw it out there. I don't recommend it. And I've shared this point of view with a lot of welders' wives who have thought about it, asked about it. I loved it. It was fun. I thought it was a great experience. But it put a lot of stress on Jake because, one, I'm a woman in a construction world, which was, and that's not very common. And so it was kind of, I was looked at different, so then Jake kind of was protective about that. Second, everybody wanted to talk to me because I like to talk. So everybody wanted to come and talk to me, and so I wasn't actually doing my job some of the times. And then the third reason was it was a strain on our relationship. We spent 24/7 together. We'd go to work, we would go out to dinner, we'd come home, and we'd still have not had a break from each other. So we decided that it just wasn't the right choice for me. And so I honestly love the experience, but I definitely wouldn't do it again. Now, the situation is different. I am a stay-at-home mom, and I do run the business with Jake. And so, but we work together, but in different aspects of the business. And so I do my thing, he does his thing, we come together, and it makes the business. I want to share the pros and cons of being in the trailer or being on the road, per se, to being setting roots and being at home. So let's start with the trailer lifestyle. If you watched the first video, I love being in a trailer. It's one of my favorite things because it's such a great, it's an experience. It gives you so much freedom. There's no other word for it. Just because if Jake had a day off, we could go see something new in the place we were at, or being able to be oh, I've lived in 10 different states. How many people can say they lived in 10 different states? Not a lot. Some of the cons are, you're not close to your family, or you don't have the ability to go home as often and see everybody because you don't know when the job's going to end. You could be laid off because you don't pass x-ray. You get 3 breaks and you're gone. So you're fired. Or they're okay, on to the next job. It's in North Dakota or whatever that looks like. So your life is not, I tell people all the time, even to this day, I don't know what's happening tomorrow. I don't know what's happening next week. I can't plan that far in advance. And if I try to plan that far in advance, it doesn't work the way I want it to. And so that's even... But road life was really like that, and it's still, even though I live at home and do my thing, it's still like that. The con list isn't very long for me, and I know that the pros and cons list is going to look different for everybody, but I am definitely my pros list is really long for both being on the road and staying at home. Now I want to talk about what it is pro con list for me, and this is just for me. This is my personal. This is not This is just giving you guys an example. This is not something that you have to base your life off of or whatever that looks like for you. So my pros for being at home is that my kids can go to school. They have a set routine. I have a set support system when Jake is gone, and that they get to experience a lot of new things that they didn't get to experience before because we are now like a set roots kind of person. Playful family, whatever you want to say. But some of the cons are, like, we miss Jake. When Jake is gone, there's a lot of crying from me, from the kids, because it's hard. It really is hard for them to miss their dad and not understand, like, why he's not coming home every night, or, you know, why he's not home, because we've been really lucky the last few months. He's been doing a lot of stuff at home. And so now that he's back on the road, it's been a little bit hard for us trying to like readjust to that life of him on the road, and we're coming into our busy season, so it's going to be like that for quite a while. Well, you guys, to wrap up the episode, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, join. We have membership, so that means that if you join our membership, you can see early access to videos, know if we're going to drop merch or not, those kinds of things. I don't know what that, those are fun things, right? But also make sure that you guys ask your girlfriends, ask your spouses, ask your wives what they would like to see and hear, because I run out of things to talk about. I know you guys want to keep me blubbering, and I don't sometimes know what to talk about. So I'd really like to know from you, your other half, to see what you guys want to know. If there's other questions that you have, please just drop them in the comments, and we'll answer them as much as we can. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Be blessed.
Okay, guys, this is your golden moment.
Uh-oh, I turned off the light.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, I want you to tell people, who are you? What's your name? Hold on. Gotta wait till, wait.
You gotta tell me, Ben. What's your name, buddy?
Tell Dan what your name is.
They went from school. Okay. They went Schofield from Weldingtown.
Schofield from Weldingtown. What's your name? You can talk in it. Tell him. What's your name?
Swayze Ann.
Swayze Ann. Who's your dad?
Daddy Jacob.
Daddy Jacob. Yeah.
Do you love your daddy?
Do you miss your dad? Do you want to be a welder when you grow up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And I want to be a singer.
You want to be a singer? Oh, that's news to me. Oh boy.
Do you want to sing for us right now?
Can you sing
Give us a song.
I want to sing.
You can sing here in a second.
We'll have you sing it. Well, what do you want to sing? What's your favorite song?
Elsa.
Elsa? Is it the Let It Go song?
Yeah.
Do you want to sing it with me? Let it go.
Hey, I got a dress in Recessa.
You have a
It's
dress?
in my closet.
It's in your closet? We'll have to have you in the costume one of these times.
I was still working on my house.
You're building a house?
Yeah, I already got started.
Are you on Minecraft?
Yeah, I was building something super big.
Yeah.
Let them see me, the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know.
Here we go, let it go.
We'll never know.